Hey YouTube, this is my review of the Summerboard. I decided to shoot this video because I felt like I've seen a lot of questions on other YouTube videos. Some of my friends have asked me these common questions, and I figured I would just answer essentially what I felt like were common questions that either I've received, I've seen online, or just questions that I had before I had the Summerboard that now that I own it, that I feel like I can answer. So, I mean, I guess the first one, just in case you don't know what a Summerboard is this is the Summerboard. So the Summerboard is a super unique, I guess, electric skateboard, but the biggest difference is you have these two wheels that spin 360 degrees, and these are the actual motors. So typically when you think of an electric skateboard, these are the wheels that are spinning and propelling you, where with the Summerboard, it's these two wheels that actually have the motors attached to it and are propelling you, and you're using these more traditional skateboard wheels as what you essentially call your edges, and that's kind of what you're sliding side to side on. And when you're riding it, you are literally sliding side to side and riding it like if you were snowboarding. And it's super unique. There's no other product out there like it. And so, yeah, again, I just wanted to kind of answer some of the common questions that I've seen and that I've gotten some from friends. So I guess the first one is it fun? And I would say that it's a blast. I've ridden pretty much every, I guess, electric skateboard type of device that's out there. Boosted board, inboard, one wheel, Summerboard, you name it. Summerboard's honestly the most fun out of all of them, hands down. I would say the biggest sort of unique thing about it as it relates to fun is that most of those other boards, you sort of have to go fast to have fun. When I've ridden friends' boosted boards or inboards, like I had to be full speed, hitting that remote as fast as possible in order to just have fun. Where this, I can go 8-9 miles an hour and still have a blast, and I can go really fast and just be going all out extreme and having like a crazy fun time that I don't know anything else that you can have that much fun on. So, you know, but as it relates to that, it is unique, right? Where if you just kind of get on a longboard, an electric longboard or electric skateboard, you're just standing on it, you're doing no work, you're just, you know, using the remote to propel you forward, and that's all that you're doing. You're not really doing any workout. You're not, you know, it's not a workout in any way. And so that's the next question, is it a workout? Or how much of a workout is it? And so I've never snowboarded before, but I guess that's what I would compare it to. Certainly, you know, you're kind of using your core as you're turning, and you're using your upper body and your shoulders to sort of do the momentum and kind of curve yourself side to side. Your legs get a little bit sore, but it's nothing that I would compare. Like, if I ran as hard as I could, that would be more like I would feel more exhausted. But this is something where I feel like I am like doing a workout. I definitely break a sweat when I go out and it's a sort of warm day. But I'm never like super sore. It's not like going to the gym or something like that. Definitely when I first started riding it for a couple hours, like every few days, definitely I'd be a little bit sore here and there, but it's kind of cool because you're working. It's like riding a bike, right? You go out, you ride your bike, you're burning some calories, you're having a blast doing it. And that's definitely something that's really unique about it, where, I mean, whether you're using it to commute or whether you're using it to just go out on the weekends or after work or whatever, you can get a little bit of a workout in and have a blast doing it. So next question is can you do tricks? I would say I'm not a super aggressive rider. I can do 180s here and there, but I don't really do 180s that much. I'm not really doing 360s. I've jumped off a couple staircases and things like that. I've seen a bunch of videos on Summerboard's Instagram of just some really sick riders doing some really cool stuff. I don't do those tricks. I don't feel like you have to in order to have a super blast to riding it. You certainly can do tricks, but like for me, just riding side to side, I have a blast doing that. So yeah, next question is it faster or slower than I expected? And honestly, I would say that it's faster than I expected, but what I wasn't expecting was to have, like I mentioned earlier, have so much fun riding it slower. So when I first rode it, I would kind of ride it like 4 or 5 miles an hour and go, whoa, this is pretty intense. This, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to learn to ride this. I've never snowboarded before or anything. But then you kind of get that 8, 9 miles an hour momentum going. You start feeling how it works, and then boom, it kind of clicks, and you start having a blast. And so that's what I think is really fun, is that you don't have to go really fast to have a super fun time. But definitely you can go really fast with it. I don't even know if I've maxed out the speed. I definitely have a couple of times, but I'm not going out there full throttle. We're definitely on a boosted board and inboard. Like, I'm full throttling all the time just to ride it, just to have fun, which you like don't have to do with this. Next question is any issues with it? And so that was something I was worried about, just at the price point. You know, there's obviously a lot of like mechanical things going on here. And I would say I've ridden mine super hard. Like I mentioned, I've jumped off of stairs. I've ridden it hundreds and hundreds of hours. And I've had zero issues with it whatsoever. There's certainly the minor maintenance things that, like with anything, you know, whether it's a bicycle or a regular skateboard, that you sort of have to do, but it's nothing complicated. It's nothing that everyone can do it. It's super easy, and yeah, literally have had no issues with it at all. Next question is which accessories to get. This is one where, you know, there's not a million to choose from, and before I bought my board, there wasn't really the bundles, and now there's the bundles, which on Summerboard's website, which I feel like make it really easy. I highly, highly, highly recommend the launch pads. These are great because when your foot's in here, this is plastic underneath, and so your foot definitely gets sore if you don't have kind of thicker shoes. And so I feel like this really helps, just like my feet not get sore ever when I'm riding, and it just, I feel like I can grip a lot harder and just push it harder, and it's super comfy. I did buy the supercharger just because sometimes if I forgot to charge the board, like really quickly, I can soup up and just kind of get a quick charge in there and then get out there. Extra batteries, one that it depends on how much you're gonna ride. I ride a lot, and sometimes I like to go out for a few hours and I don't wanna be stranded. So if I go far from home, so I'll bring a second battery with me. Yeah, but I've never needed more than 2. So I think that's like, yeah, I mean, if you could go out there for more than 2 batteries, props to you. But for me, 2 batteries is more than enough. The toolkit is something that if you have no tools whatsoever, I'd recommend, because that way if you want to loosen the trucks, any of the maintenance you'll have to do at some point, you'll have the tool set and you'll be all set. But you know, if you've got basic wrench sets, things like that, like you won't need it. But I would say, like, if you just want to make sure you have all the tools, it's cheap, it's easy to, you know, just have, and you know, nice thing to tighten the trucks down and stuff. And then the freshies, I can't speak to the freshies. I don't have the freshies yet. I'm gonna get them. They look sick. But yeah, I don't have them yet, so I can't really speak to those. But I would say, like, hey, if you could get it, I'd get it. I haven't seen any, you know, downside to getting them, so definitely something worth checking out or getting. Yeah, so next question is it difficult to learn? That's one where, you know, I guess I was a little bit worried about, because I had never snowboarded before or anything like that. And yeah, I just wasn't sure, like, is it going to be difficult to learn? I'll say that sort of 2-3 things. One, just watch the video trainings. If you watch the video trainings and you follow them, it's super easy to learn to ride this. And what you really have to do is just give it an hour for like 2-3 days. Don't space it out over weeks. Like, go out for an hour today, then the next day go out for an hour, or 2 days later go out for an hour. And it's unbelievable if you just bring your phone, follow the videos, do the videos. And then like the second and third day, you'll be amazed how much it clicks. So for me, I went out the first time and I was just like, oh, this is kind of hard. I don't have any of this down. You start out without the foot holdings, and I was kind of riding it, and I kept falling and falling and falling and falling. And I don't mean falling like on my hands or anything like that, but just jumping off the board, and I just couldn't get it. And I was just like, all right, like it seems really difficult. It's tough. And I was just out there for an hour. I gave it my all, but then it was so weird. The next day when I went out, all of a sudden I was way better. I don't even know what happened. It was like the muscle memory just sort of took over and I wasn't falling at all. And then I was starting to really go side to side, stop doing sliding stops, doing 180s. And I was like, how did this all of a sudden happen? I was nowhere near this good at all yesterday. And it was sick. So, and then like third, fourth, fifth time, I put the foot holdings on, and then I started shredding. I was riding side to side. I was super comfortable. Didn't worry about where I was riding it anymore. But definitely give it that hour, go out every couple of days and watch all the video trainings, and then you'll be fine. I swear anyone can learn to ride it, and you'll reap rewards from it just with how much fun it is. That kind of leads to the next question. Do you need to be a snowboarder? So I've never snowboarded before. And so you definitely don't need to be a snowboarder. I feel like what I've read is that if you are a really good snowboarder, you'll pick it up way faster. But I've seen pro snowboarders on Summerboard's Instagram, get on for the first time and start, really ripping on it. But yeah, I've never snowboarded before, and I learned super fast. So definitely don't think that's a requirement in any way. Then is it a lot to maintain? So like I mentioned, really, I haven't had to do anything. The only things you really ever have to do is replace these outside wheels, which is super easy to do. You have to replace these wheels potentially, at some point, and the belts, which all of this is super easy stuff to do. I've already watched the videos on Summerboard's site, and 10 minutes, it's going to be an easy swap. And other than that, there's really no maintenance required. I bike a lot, and I feel like there's way more maintenance than just, fixing a flat or something like that. So yeah, I'd say really no maintenance required. Next question is it dangerous? And so that's one where when I show it to people, or friends have ridden it, or friends have just tried to stand on it for a minute and try to ride it, they're like, whoa, this thing seems super dangerous, or oh, I'm strapped in, how am I gonna jump out of it? And I would say that it's really not dangerous. I would say that you definitely want to go out there with wrist guards on. I go out all the time with knee pads and elbow pads and a helmet. I don't really ever ride my bike or do anything like that without a helmet. But definitely I've fallen a few times. Wrist guards saved me. Definitely want to have the wrist guards no matter what. And I feel like knee pads are also super important. If I were to go rollerblading or do anything like that, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Just, pad up. And then you have no fear. You don't have anything to worry about. If you fall, it's no big deal. I've never gotten hurt. I've taken a bunch of spills. Not a bunch, but a couple spills, and totally fine. Jump back up. I've fallen off my bike before, and that hurt 10 times more. So next is it expensive? I would say expensive is sort of a relative, kind of depends. What your situation is. Obviously, for some people who don't, have money, it could certainly be very expensive. I would say for me, the quality of the board, the craftsmanship that's gone into it, how hefty it is, and just you could see how high quality it is, I would say it's definitely worth the price. I have a super expensive mountain bike that costs more than this board. And honestly, for the price, for what the competition is and costs, bar none, this is way more value. Yeah, yeah, hands down, it's way more value than anything else out there for any kind of similar price. So is it only for summer, right? Summerboard. I would say I've ridden in the rain. I've ridden when it's cold. It's definitely not just for summer. I mean, you could kind of ride it whenever. Like I've never ridden it like with snow on the ground and and having ice on there. I would say like could potentially get a little sketchy, but aside from that, like no, you can ride it anytime. I love it like where it could be a little chilly out. I'll just kind of wear some sweatpants and a sweatshirt and I can get out there and I'll warm up super fast, just kind of shredding around, having a blast. So definitely could ride it any season. Next question, would I recommend it? So I'm sure you can tell I love this thing. It's super fun. I definitely would recommend it. If you are a couch potato and you never get out there and you never do anything and you never exercise or go for a walk or anything like that and you think you're gonna get on this thing and shred, forget about it. But if you're gonna go out there, give it an hour a couple days later, and you like getting outside, then this thing is dope. I love it. I think it's 100% I recommend it. I've convinced a couple buddies of mine to buy it. Then we go out together, which is super fun. I mean, hands down, even with like the financing type of stuff, it's sort of a no-brainer. You could just finance it for like so cheap every month and just buy a couple less cups of coffee that month or whatever. And I mean, this thing is awesome. I've had mine for I think over 2 years now and like no issues, had a blast with it, ridden it a ton. And so like that's I guess the last question, like is it worth it? 100% absolutely worth it. It's super, super fun. Definitely you got to get one if you can. I mean, I highly recommend it. I have a blast riding it. I have some cool lights that I add onto it when I go for night rides with people. I want to get the light up wheels next. I mean, 100% definitely recommend it. It's definitely worth it. I mean, you can look me up online if you want to ping me with any questions. I'll try to kind of keep an eye on this video and see if anybody asks some questions in the comments. And I'll definitely try to answer them as far as like what I know and my experiences with it. But if you're on the fence and you're thinking about buying one, you're just not really sure, just go for it. Go for it. You won't regret it. If you can find someone who has one, just kind of hold onto their shoulders and have them walk you with it. And so you can really get how it feels kind of rocking side to side. But it's a blast. I mean, it's so fun. Every time I go on a vacation or a road trip, go see my parents or whatever, I just bring it with me. Just because I'm like, hey, if I got a couple spare hours, I'll get out there and just have some fun, ride around some neighborhoods, whatever. It's a cool, unique way to kind of see your surroundings and stuff like that versus, in a car or whatever. And it's got a crazy cool factor too. Every time I go out riding, everyone stops me. They're like, whoa, what is that thing? What are you doing? That is so cool. Oh, people always asking you questions about it and stuff. So Summerboard, super highly recommend. Great job, Summerboard, building a dope product. See you guys. Have a good day.